Welcome, welcome, welcome. What's happening? All good?
All good, mate. How about you?
I'm all good. It's Thursday night. We are back, the Killer Comic Show, live and in HD quality for your viewing pleasure all over the You Chisel. So,
You chisel.
The You Chisel. You Chisel.
You chisel.
The YouTubius Maximus, whatever you want to call it. It's Thursday night. It's good. The sun is shining all day. It's bloody hot here. I'm sweating ridiculously. My as Pete Triple G was saying, my moobs are moist. I've got moist moobs, but it's all good. So all good.
All good in the hood, mate. I'm sweating like Philip Schofield when everything starts to drop out on the television.
Jesus, no one can sweat that much. But the chat is absolutely buzzing. We've got Bat Dan Dixon, A up me ducks, A up son. Thank you very much for joining. We've got someone called Not Quite Mint. What's up, Dan? We've got Yuko Demands Treats. Evening, everyone. Good evening. ABZ Comics. Welcome. Yo Gents, been a bit off the radar lately. Getting my beer ready for the show. What are you drinking? I've obviously I'm going to start being sponsored by Stella, I think, because I'm loving it at the moment in this heat. Why not? Triple G Comics, YouTube royalty. Now then, hope you are all well. Yes, I am very well, and so is Tom. Just look at this gorgeous man to the left of me. There we go. Leon Russell, ABZ Comics beer. That's the word I've been trying to think of. Thank you. Hello, everyone, by the way. Leon, if you can just let me know either in the chat or in the DM later on if Dan has sent you your prize that you won a couple of weeks ago. If not, I will chase him up and see if he can get that in the post to you. Streambots, good evening.
Good evening, Streambots.
Nano. There we go. Right, Poptimus, evening, Darren. Thanks for very much joining, mate. Right, just bog standard Tennant. There we go. Is it David Tennant?
Savage. Absolutely savage.
So, how have you been on this fine Thursday, Abin?
Well, do you know what? Not bad. I know I've complained a little bit about my current job situation, but very good today. We had some good banter at work. It was good, so I'm on a high, and I've got lots of things in the pipeline with my personal training. Can we just
have a massive round of applause for the first bit of banter that Tom has had in nearly a year at work? So we're just there we go. Look at that. There we go. Everyone loves a bit of banter. How much did you have to pay them for the last, Tom?
Mate, it was one of those situations where I think I might have been the only person laughing at my own jokes. So
do you know what?
I had banter, no one else did.
You know what? I've done that for years, and it still works. So
yeah, happy days, mate.
There we go.
What about you? How was your Thursday? How was your?
I've been busy, mate. I've been busy. Busy at work, costing up Excel. I'm done with Excel sheets today. Can't be bothered with it. I sat down at my lunch, read the comics that we're reviewing again tonight, and that kind of chilled me out. And I'm looking forward to the show. Obviously, if you didn't see the show last week, we made a grown man cry. We made a very handsome Scottish man blubber. Yeah, as you probably all know by now, Andy is no longer with the Killer Comic Show. He left to go on to yonder pastors new, but he's still very much part of the show. He's got better things to do on a Thursday night than spend his evening with us two. If I'm being honest, that was the real reason. But the show must go on, as they say.
Show must go on.
And I'm sure we'll see his face on the show. He'll get bored and come back and want to join us for now and again as a special guest, and he'll be on the chat. I'm sure he'll be in the chat shortly.
Don't call me Shorty.
Don't call you Shorty. He'll be in the chat, but it's all good. But yeah, shall we just get into what we normally do on a Thursday evening?
Get into that business end.
Yeah, let's get into that business. Oh. That's what she said.
Oh, great. I've just had a killer idea. We should change all those slides into pictures of Andy.
Should do. Just different days of the week.
Yeah.
Right. As everyone knows by now, regular viewers of the show know that every single week we get into the business end of the show, the killer covers, which are, we take the top covers that we think for various reasons. It might be the art, it might be the story that it's telling, whatever it is. Killer covers of the week, September 6th, which was yesterday for New Comic Book Day. There's only two of us now, and we've got a bit we just want to put it out there that Andy can still technically win this year.
Technically,
right?
can still win this year.
Andy can still technically win this year because I've got a lot of catching up to do. Tom's not far off, but if there's a draw, it's null and void. We get half a point each, so it's pretty much all to play for, and it should be more of an even contest now with Andy, and he hasn't got his 652,572,000 bots working with him. Exactly. So let's just jump straight onto it. September 6th killer covers. Up first is
me, glorious me. So I've gone for Shazam issue 3, cover B, and I've gone for the Chris Saney stock variant cover. I saw this in the massive lineup of comics, and I just thought it's so cartoony, it's so classic. I just thought that's really cool. It's something completely different, and that's kind of what I always look for each week, is something different. And I just like how kind of cartoony this is, and this is kind of what would draw me to a comic book. I might not ever read Shazam, but if I saw this on the shelf, I'd be like, oh cool, it's going to be a comic book about tigers, and that tiger's like a really cartoony tiger. So I was all in, and it's very much like I can't remember the name of the artist, but do you know it's like a little kid and a tiger. I can't remember what it's called now. It's not The Tiger Who Comes to Tea, it's something else. So it reminded me a little bit of that, or like even like the Snoopy style kind of drawing. So that's what drew me.
I do know what you mean. I do know what you mean. Yeah.
So yeah, that's why I picked it, and it's by DC, and it's obviously on really good paper. So I think I will get this one purely as a cover buy.
I haven't. ABC said Calvin and Hobbes.
That's it. Exactly that. Calvin Hobbes. Thank you very much.
I haven't been reading Shazam at all, so I'm not sure if anyone in the chat can tell me what this is relevant to. If these tigers play a part in the comic and stuff like that. But I've got to say, this, I think it's because it's Shazam and I'm not reading it. This totally bypassed me. But when you picked it, I was like, this is a great cover.
It's cool. I like the little pinky, the kind of like the fact
that
I think it's really cartoony. It's just something that would draw my eye over a lot of other books. Like, for instance, a J. Scott Campbell, I think I would bypass for this because it's a bit different.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, I love the detailing on that. He's got a tie on, he's sitting there very elegantly, and then he's got the Shazam logo on the cup. Yeah,
it's just so simple.
I like it. I think it's great. It's great. There we go.
I knew you were going to do that because I've been thinking about doing it myself.
I'm going to take a swig of beer before I move on from that fantastic dad joke. There we go. So this is Tom's cover of the week. I've gone for cover C, the Otto Schmidt cardstock variant of Poison Ivy issue number 14. Originally, I chose the Joker Who Laughs issue number 5. I think it was a Matina or another cover. And then I see this, and this, I love my watercolor art, and this is amazing. And I've been reading this story, and this is so poignant to the story and everything. Now, obviously, this ties in. I've said it time and time again. The Poison Ivy comics and the way that she comes to life and takes control of all the wildlife and stuff. It's very much like The Last of Us. And The Last of Us is a fantastic game. Tom, I know you're an avid gamer. It's a fantastic game. It's a fantastic TV show. I just can't help but think that this if this was a Virgin variant cover, I would love to get this just put on a top load and on the wall, because I think it would look fantastic as a piece of art. And I just love it.
But I quite like it as it is as a comic. I think I like the Poison Ivy logo. I think it's really well placed. I think it's the barcode that ruins it. I think everything else about it is really smart. I think you've made a really good choice here, mate, because the one you had originally was good, but I think this is better. Do
you remember them days? Do you remember the days when they used to put barcodes on the back of comics?
I mean, why on earth would you put it on the front? I think, to be honest, mate, I think it's something to do with, they used to, years ago they did, like, you know, back in the day they used to put barcodes on the front of books. Then they moved them onto the back, and then I think they've moved them back on the front because of like comic book collector app where you can scan rather than having to take their books out of the packets to scan them. I think they put it back on the front, but it's cool. I like it. I love her hair.
Yeah,
I think it's a really cool way. It also looks really godlike.
Yeah. Well, if you read the story, you kind of understand why she kind of looks like that, and why she's kind of like looking like she is and stuff. It's fantastic, like for a solo Poison Ivy comic, because we got I think it was Stefan Sejic years and years ago was going to do the Pamela Isley, similar to what he did to the Harleen. He was going to do that, and it kind of just got vetoed. They never did it. So I think they kind of took this on, and they're kind of trying to build up Poison Ivy, like a character basis and stuff like that. But yeah, it's a great comic. If you're not reading it, give it a read. But yeah, that's mine. It's another DC comic, Poison Ivy, issue number 14. Getting quite a lot of chat. Tom, people are saying yours is a bit different. I like that. Triple G has said the Tiger has been part of Shazam for years. It's their uncle or something like that.
Okay, cool.
Batman has said Sam Neill is very underrated. I've got to agree with you with that. Like, some of his stuff really does go under the radar because he's not such a high-profile artist. Connie, where have you been, darling? Thank you very much for joining Holler Nerds.
Did Connie miss last week's show? Does she know that Andy's no longer with us?
Yes. Well, he's still with us. He's just not on the show.
Yeah. Okay, that sounded like he died.
He's not on the show anymore.
Yeah, he's just not on the show anymore. Sorry.
It's okay.
R.I.P. Andy.
Triple G said, I read Shazam Night Terrors. Shaz shit. Oh, mate, we got to get that right. If anyone wants to start hashtagging Shaz shit, go for it. I can't believe he's still reading it. I kind of just switched off because it was actually giving me night terrors, because it's absolutely a pile of poo. So I never started. Like, it was just rubbish. GP Venom, I always wondered about the Tiger Pete. I don't think it was called Tiger Pete. I think it was just a tiger. But if we can find that out. And actually, Shitzam. There we go. Shitzam.
Hashtag Shitzam.
Hashtag you went for a shash shit and you ended up with a shit zam. There we go.
Where's Shay Sean doing his shit?
Where's Shay Sean the shit sham? Back then, Night Terrors was largely such a missed opportunity. I think it was. I think it was just a cash cow and it didn't really work. Yeah. Connie has said, I did miss last week's show. Can't believe you dropped bombshells the 1 week I actually don't show up. And there we go. I can't remember where I was last week. Probably committing shenanigans, shashits, shamjats, or something. There we go. Right. So the vote is live. You got mine, and you got Tom's. I think we know who the winner is this week. So I'll
absolutely, we know who the winner is this week.
I'll sit back on my non-reclining chair and just pretend to sink into a wallow of self-pity as usual, as I do every single Killer Cover week. But that's the Killer Covers. Moving swiftly on to the Killer Cover Show, week 35 review. So I'm going to be honest. This week was a little bit of a shit show, to be fair. We had the 3 covers. The vote went live. It was perfect. We had the Devil's Cut, which was Distillery by Distillery Publishing. We had Plot Holes, issue number 1 by Sean Gordon Murphy, and we had Alice Never After, issue number 2 by Dan Panosian. The Devil's Cut won. We was all looking forward to reading it. Unfortunately, you can't purchase it on anywhere other than their own platform. Now, we've been speaking to Chip Mosher, who's like one of the head honchos for Distillery Digital and stuff like that. And he's been very forthcoming. He's been very helpful and stuff like that. He did say that they are launching the digital platform for people to buy the comic online. But I think where it's creator owned, they're not setting that up until they've got their foot in the door. Now, Chip Mosher was one of the head honchos at Comixology. He's kind of now moved on, and they've created Distillery, which is the place to be if you're a writer or an artist. They've got the likes of Ram V, they've got Becky Coonan, they've got Tula Latay, they've got Jock, they've got Merker and Dolfo, Jock, Snyder, everyone, but to name a few. So they've got a massive thing going. So we're very fortunate to speak to him, and we was going to review that comic, but we weren't able to get it. You're still waiting on your pre-order. I only managed to pick mine up today from Gosh Comics. So we kind of made the decision to review Plot Holes and Alice Never After, and maybe we just, because Distillery's The Devil's Cut is a one shot, maybe when we both get it, we read it and then we do a review show on that. You happy with that?
Yeah, sounds good. Yeah, I'm happy to do that, mate, because it's a one shot, like you said, and a new company.
Yes, why not? And so we're looking forward to that. And obviously they're doing a massive thing at Thought Bubble. They're having like a launch party and stuff like that. And I think that because Tula Latay is the founder of Thought Bubble, which is now with Distillery, I think what they're going to do, they're going to combine it. So there's going to be, I think Thought Bubble this year, for the people in the chat that are going on myself, is going to be very much run by Distillery. So there's going to be workshops, there's going to be interview sections that you'll be able to take part in and stuff like that. So if you're not going and you're looking forward to going, just buy the tickets, because it's going to be as good as it always is. So the 2 comics we are reviewing are the Plot Holes issue number 1 and Alice Never After issue number 2. A few people have now joined us in the chat. We've got a man like Fuzzy Dunlop. Yes, boys, love Plot Holes. Thank you very much.
Look, and
Plot Holes.
Okay, right, cool.
And the first one is out. First one out is Gone by Jock, right? Yes. And then we've got Back Down Dixon. We have yet the first one out, Devil's Cut one shot. And Leon has said, talking of Ram V, you've just reminded me that Radio Apocalypse just stopped after the second issue. Anybody know what happened to that? Have absolutely no idea. Read the first issue, got his CGC, thanks to Andy, who got that at 9.8 for me. Read issue number 2. That was it.
It was such a good concept.
It was a great concept. It was a great concept. I'm not really sure what happened. But that is enough of that. So up first, we have Plot Holes. So this is obviously by Whatnot Publishing. The Plot Holes issue number 1, written, and the art is by Sean Murphy, and the cover is by the colours, are by Matt Hollingsworth. Main cover is by Sean Murphy. Cover B is by a good friend of the show, Dan Panosian. Cover C is the Better Ray Bill homage cover. Cover D is by Summer River. Cover D is the video game homage, which is my favourite one. Cover E is by a good friend of Katana Collins and Sean Gordon Murphy, Matteo Scalera. Cover F is the Bengal variant cover, and cover G is the 1 in 10 Mike Mignola homage. Now, I got confused about this because when this first came out, I think this came out at the start of the year. And you can
Ash Candid.
Yes, it's Ash Candid. It came out at the start of the year. So I got confused about that because when you go into League of Comic Books, there's 2 there. Tom, you picked this up before me because I only picked this up yesterday. I picked up the. Where did I go? I picked up this fantastic gaming cover D. As you can see,
he's done his pickups already.
I've done my pickups already. I'm going to shout again at the end. But it was fantastic. So I'm going to hand the panel over to you, sir, and you can take it away.
Okay, mate. So the Plot Holes, the synopsis behind the Plot Holes is they are a squad of fictional warriors, who transport themselves into the pages of other books, using their unique skills to save the plots in order to stop them from being destroyed. And Cliff is their newest recruit, a comic book creator who just realized his world isn't real, in fact, and it's a complete fiction and that literally exists inside a novel. The other members are misfits like him, pulled from unpublished books that couldn't be saved, a manga samurai, a barbarian tiger, a kid from a comic strip, a vampire assassin. Outclassed by other members, Cliff sets out to prove his worth in the Plot Holes as they fight to save many books as possible. So, I was so excited about reading this book, especially because it's written and drawn by Sean Murphy, who we like anyway. Mm-hmm. I mean, The White Knight is one of my favorite books, but 100%. So I got really excited about it. I ordered the Mike Mignola cover because it's stunning, and I just think it's quality. So when it came, it looked stunning. I was like, this is going to be awesome. And I wasn't disappointed at all in any way, shape or form. From start to finish, I really enjoyed the book. Like, it starts off really well. Then the story kind of builds a little bit on the characters. I found in one issue, I fell in love with pretty much all of the characters and knew pretty much all their backstories and what their personalities were like in one issue. Yeah. Which has only happened to me once before recently, which was do a powerbomb. So I fell in love with obviously the manga samurai, who I think is called Johnny Manga, who's quality. And then obviously I love Raw. He's amazing. He's the tiger character who's like a bit of a shapeshifter. So you're introduced, kind of thrown into this world that they're there to kind of stop the books from being published, well, either being destroyed or not.
It's such a great concept. It's such a great concept.
It really is. Yeah. But yeah, like, so the whole idea is that these characters, they're a bit like the Exiles. I don't know if any of you have read Exiles in the Marvel universe. So they live outside of the norm, and they basically enter the books and destroy whatever kind of crap has been written to then that book can then be published. And in the first kind of book that they attempt to save, this kind of alien style book, they end up taking identity back with them into this kind of what you would call the sub level where they live, which is in between books and reality. And then it kind of starts destroying books, and it's a really cool concept. So then from there you kind of get a bit of backstory. You find out a little bit more about the writer, who's Cliff. I mean, he's cool. I can't remember what is his name. Charlie might be able to help me here. He gets a nickname, and I can't remember what it is.
Is it Flipping? No, not Flipping. Is it Flipping? No, it's not Flipping.
I don't know. I've got the book in front of me, so I'll have a quick look. But yeah, Charlie, what did you think? Because I thought this was absolutely amazing.
Do you know what?
Inkslayer.
Inkslayer, that's the one, right?
Yeah.
So I instantly was drawn into this, right? Because I think we'd known it was coming out for a while, and I just think the whole concept. And do you know what I liked about this comic? Right, it didn't give no intro, like so you're literally thrown in. You're thrown into a narrative where the woman, for me, she looks like an older Harley Quinn. You can see the similarities between the older Harley Quinn that's got married to Batman in the White Knight series, and this character, like there, you can
Ed. Is her name
yeah,
Ed?
Yeah, Ed, short for editor. You can spot a Sean Gordon Murphy comic.
Oh yeah, of course.
Off, and it's fantastic. I just love the fact that it's at the moment we're seeing quite a lot of crossovers. So obviously we've got Big Game that is a fantastic crossover with like Nemesis, and we've got Mark Miller doing all of that. This again is another way that a crossover should be done. Like this is basically there's a film of it out, I can't remember, where they keep jumping from scene to scene and they're like, oh no, wrong film, and then it's not Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure where they keep jumping
Everything Everywhere All at Once.
I think so, yeah, where they keep jumping and it's like, oh no, this isn't the right one, no, not this. This comic for me, I'm all over it. I cannot wait to read it. I cannot wait to read the next issue. And I know we say it, we're running a comic book review show, so we're going to get comments saying, oh my God, we can't wait to read. I genuinely can't wait to read this because there's so many subtle little things, like Back to the Future features in it. Like on the last panel on the right-hand side, he turns around to him and goes, surely you know what a DeLorean is.
But it's loads of things, like Batman features in this. Like there's a little mini figure of Batman, and like the Gundams feature in this. There's lots of like, there's a bit of everything for everybody, I think. And what I really like is they've put this little miniature character who looks like a little tiny child, who is the eldest one of the lot. He's so racist and grumpy. It's amazing.
But this panel on the left-hand side where they're all introduced, that reminds, I've seen this panel somewhere. I've seen where they're all there. And it's a
bit of an X-Men homage, I think.
It is. That's. I think it is because I can kind of see them all there, and they're all like kind of looking off into distance and stuff like that. I think overall, though, it's such a great comic. The narrative, the way it's been written, and it's kind of my dream team writing it again because the first ever Batman White Knight was written obviously by Sean Murphy, and Matt Hollingsworth did the colours for that. So to have them back on it again was just it was like a match made in heaven with me, and I was really interested in reading it, and I was very close to buying 3 or 4 different covers just for the sake of it, but I didn't. But I really thoroughly enjoyed it, and I'm pretty much sure that one of the pictures in there of the Inkslayer, I think that's a self-portrait of Sean Gordon Murphy. You know,
I think the Inkslayer is
I'm
Sean
adamant.
Murphy.
Yeah.
Also, I have a theory that the Inkslayer, the reason he's called Inkslayer is he's going to be the main protagonist from this book.
Yeah, and he doesn't even know it because the whole thing about this story is that they're jumping from story to story and they're trying to save them. If it's a good story, they kind of they make the alterations in it and then they get it published. If it's a crap story, they're like, this ain't worth saving, so they kind of move on to the next one. And I think with Inkslayer, he's kind of like, it's really cool because they're saying, so he's like, so I'm a comic book character in a comic book that someone's reading. And I was reading that thinking, this sounds like The Matrix. And they even make a reference to The Matrix.
Yes.
So he's like, oh, so basically this is like a comic book form of The Matrix. And I was like, this is so smart the way that they've done them. And what I really like the black and white inking. I really like the black and white. So when there's a double page spread of the Gundam, and it's like in black and white, I was like, I got pure Transformer vibes.
But it's like, I don't know if you know much about Japanese manga, but there's a few stable Japanese mangas. Obviously, there's the mechas, and then there's obviously there's a driving one, like a drifting one, and basically the character Johnny Manga is both of those combined in one, which is just insane. Yeah, it's so good. Just absolutely.
I honestly, I would give this 100%. I'm giving this like a 9 out of 10. I think it's just great. I absolutely loved it, and I'm a massive fan of Sean Gordon Murphy anyway. But to have this, I hope he keeps Matt Hollingsworth on this because Sometimes he kind of switches up and he has Matteo Scalera doing the artwork, and then he'll have someone else's. But obviously, this is his artwork, so he's got Matthew Hollingsworth doing the colours and stuff like that. I can't wait for it to keep coming. I think it's 5 or 6 issues, and I'm very much looking forward. And even at the back of it, I'm going to show it now because we haven't got the panels. But Sean does this. Sean, as if he's my mate.
Me and Sean, mate.
I like the way. Oh, just a massive. Well, it's not really a spoiler, but he is starting a Kickstarter for Zorro.
I want us to read this.
Right? This is a Kickstarter. This is launching very much soon, and this just looks. Look at that. Look. That just looks all kinds of awesome.
Do you like? I know this is off subject because obviously we're not talking about Zorro, but don't you think that Sean Murphy's artwork really lends itself to that kind of era, that kind of style? Because you think of Zorro, you think like old school, don't you? Like old school Western style stuff. Yeah,
but I mean, it's just wicked. And then at the back of this, he does this with the Batman White Knight comics. You know, it says coming next week, and it's like all the character breakdown. I mean, that would look great as a cover.
I think there is a metal cover, mate, of
there really?
the Inkslayer. Yeah, which is a second print, possibly. Yeah. There he is, Johnny Manga. Love that character.
But the thing is, he even goes like to Kevin. He even gives like a breakdown of the character.
Racist old Kevin,
like,
who's like a child.
It is. It says comic strip character, age 8, but acts more like he's an angry 65-year-old. Lost his stuff polar bear as a kid. Never got over it. Has a soft spot for Thok. Reminds him of lost friend. It's wicked. And then obviously we've got Surge, there we go. There he is, Surge. Look at that. But I love it, and I think the chat said they absolutely loved it. But it's a great comic. It really, really is a great comic, and I loved reading that. And then we went from. What would you give it out of anyway? For the narrative, for me, and for the art and for the color, I'm giving it a solid 9. A solid 9.
I'd say, mate, across the board 9. I think for me, this could possibly be my comic of the year, but we'll see when we get there.
Yeah.
I can't remember what the other one I said that about earlier in the year.
But it wasn't your comic of the year then, if you can't remember it, mate.
That's how good it was.
That's how good it was. But yeah, we've got this one. And then up next, we've got Alice Never After. Now, massive fan, as everyone knows I am. It had to be picked. Like we was going to do the Devil's Cut. But then I think where we both read this and we read plot holes, he was like, well, why not? Why not? Let's mix it up this week and read 2 comics. Who knows? Next week we might bloody read review 3. Who knows? It's our show. We'll do what we want.
Do what we want.
There we go.
What you want with my body.
Alice Never After, issue number 2. Main cover by Dan Panosian. Cover B by Miguel Mercado, which won me cover of the week last week. Get in.
First time for a while.
Cover C, 1 in 10, Miguel Mercado. And we've got the cover D, which is the 1 in 25 by the fantastic Adam Hughes. Now, this is obviously written by Dan Panosian and it's Giorgio Spalletta. For me, right, so if you're not reading this, right, the synopsis is Alice's place in Wonderland becomes ever curiouser as a newfound role changes everything for her and the unpredictable citizens of her escapism. But the power comes to an ever-awakening trust between her and her most trusted advisors, especially when they congregate with her former tormentors.
Ooh,
I don't know about you, Tom, right? But for me, Alice in Wonderland is probably my all-time favourite film. Like I watched it back to back when I was a kid. It would finish, I'd put it on again. It'd finish, I'd put it on again. And I still do that now. Like if the kids want to watch anything, my go-to, let's put on Alice in Wonderland. And they kind of want to, oh, can we watch the one with like Johnny Depp in it? And I'm like, no, we're watching the Disney one. Like the old school Disney one from 1974. We're watching that. We're going for it. And they love it. And this comic for me I absolutely love every single part of it. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a massive Alice in Wonderland fan and I like the whole premise of it is, are you living in a reality? Are you living in a different world? And Dan Panosian is a good friend of ours. I just think this story has so much depth and it can go for so long. It really, really can go for so long. And obviously we've had Alice Ever After, we've got Alice Never After, and hopefully this continues. Hopefully this kind of continues into like Alice Never Ever. Do you know what I mean? But this is getting dark. It becomes kind of telling when the White Rabbit, Alice is featured a lot in this issue. Like normally it's about Alice and her sisters and Alice in the real world and the doctor, her dad, and her sisters trying to get her out of the state where she had the brain surgery. But this is very much like there's certain bits in it that you think she's still not right, because on the first panel of the bit she's reading Humpty Dumpty and she's like, well, maybe they're reading it wrong, and she turns it upside down.
Okay, so I want to reread this book upside down, because I think that is a clue. I really do. So I'm going to go back and reread this upside down.
But do you know what I think? Do you know why I think they do that? Is because I think when Alice is in,
read it upside down.
No, I think it's when Alice is in the real world. That's how she sees. Like, this is my mind going off on a tangent, but do you know what Stranger Things?
I do.
There's an upside down, isn't there? So basically, she's just basically saying everything that's done, everything you do in the real world has a repercussion of what happens in her alternative reality or Wonderland and stuff like that. Because where she is now in the real world, she looks calm and collected, but then on the next panel, she's literally fuming. She's become the Queen of Hearts, and she's been sick. I think Andy's premonition of her being pregnant is going to come into fruition. I'm telling you that now. I think she's going to become pregnant. I think that's how it is.
Or
and
she
I think it's
already
very
is.
much looking like that. Or is she? Who knows? She might just have a really bad tummy.
She might just be sick.
But
might be sick.
It's the White Rabbit. Exactly, that's it. Yeah. It's the White Rabbit. Like this is all about the Cheshire Cat. Like he got banned from Wonderland.
Guess who's back?
In the previous issue, exactly.
Cheshire's back.
But did you notice that all of a sudden she was like, obviously the walrus. He's like the main judge. He literally disregards anything that she says, like she isn't there. Takes the advice of the council, of like the toad and the rabbit and stuff like that, and he's kind of just worms his way back in. I thought it was fantastic. It was a whole different play on the genre, a whole different play on the characters. She wasn't at the forefront. It was all about the Cheshire Cat, which again tied in. There was a really, really good panel of the Cheshire Cat turning into her dad. I just think it was great. And then at the end, obviously, there's we're introduced to a numerous array of characters who are potentially going to be her partner, her life partner. I loved it.
The king to her queen.
The king to her queen. I loved it. I thought it was absolutely great. I think the colours, I think the story, obviously you can see Dan Panosian's drawing the real world, and then you've got Giorgio Spalletta's drawing Alice in Wonderland. I thought it was great. There's nothing bad I could say about this comic, and anyone that does have anything bad to say about it, DM me and I can get abusive to you via Instagram. There we go. Well, what did you think,
Perfect.
Tom?
I get same as you, mate. I really enjoyed it, and I thought I picked up on quite a few other bits and bobs. So, like the whole turn the book upside down. I'm now intrigued to see whether or not, if we turn the book upside down and saw it from a different perspective, would it read differently? I liked how the master manipulator, the Cheshire Cat, came in and completely screwed everything over. Because I found myself, as I was reading it, agreeing with the Cheshire Cat. Like, oh, what? I was like, oh, okay, he's been banished. You know,
it was just like reverse psychology. It was like, yeah, okay, yeah, you're winning me over, yeah.
It was so well written, well put together, and the whole fact that she's now turning into the Red Queen, and the rabbit alludes to the fact that the Queen used to be like Alice. And she's like, oh, sorry, you saying I'm going to turn into the Queen? He's like, no, whoa, no, I'm just saying she was like you at one point, but you don't have to become her. And I thought it was very clever. The ending with the whole, like, here is your princes, I thought was a little bit, I don't know, I think it was a bit of a, I don't know whether it's necessary. However, I'm guessing there's going to be a bigger story of that part.
Yeah.
It didn't feel like a bombshell, if you get my drift. You know how these issues normally end with a bit of a bombshell?
Yeah.
That one kind of felt a bit like a, I'm not bothered. But I am interested to find out why she's being sick, what the rabbit is after constantly, and what's going to happen with the two characters that were in prison that have manipulated the dad and the sister to essentially get them out or bring them presents.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see where that's going to go. I think Dan Panosian has done a great job with this. Like, I think He's taken Alice in Wonderland and then taken it to the next level.
Mhm.
Because I'm sure we've all watched a movie or like a TV show and wanted to know what happens after it finishes. And I
Yeah.
feel like Dan is now telling that story about Alice in Wonderland
Mhm.
after it finished. Like this
Yeah.
is the next bit.
Yeah,
What
yeah,
happens to
yeah.
Alice? Like,
Yeah.
I can imagine if you go back to like how it happens in the Disney show. When
Mhm.
she goes back to real life, no one's going to believe her that she's been to Wonderland. They're just
Yeah.
going to think she's mental, which kind of reflects this, which I thought was
Yeah.
very, very clever.
Do you know
It's
what
good,
I think?
so good.
Do you know what I think is telling about this? So obviously in this fantastic cover by Adam Hughes, she's holding two hearts. And
Yes.
when I read the comic, and obviously in the main cover, she's literally sitting on. I think they're like, what are they? They're the tablets. Eat me,
Yes.
love me, and stuff like that. But she's holding like one that she's biting. I think this is her downfall now. I think she's literally going to become something that she didn't want to. And I think it's going to be very, very interesting. I can't wait. I mean, I've got every single cover of issue, every single comic of issue, the first arc, and I'm picking up every single issue of the second arc, and it'll be the trade
So
paperback as well. It'll be the trade paperback, and I will next year or one of the years will get Dan Panosian over to Thought Bubble. That is my aim, to get him over.
Let's do it. I think it'd be amazing if we could get him into Thought Bubble and just to get all the stuff signed. But not only that, to have a pint with the bloke.
Yeah.
I actually genuinely think he's a really smart, lovely guy, and I'd love to have a pint with him. Same with John Boy Mayers, another one.
I just want to get a sketch, because not that I'm jealous of Leon Russell getting that fantastic sketch, but yeah, I am. That's kind of what I want. So
me too. That's why I had Charlotte enter.
But yeah, that's it. We had these two fantastic comments. I'm giving this an 8 out of 10, I reckon, because I would like to, even though as much as I love it, I would like to have known a little bit more. And I think the ending was a bit near, but you know,
I'm going to give it a 7.5 because I didn't quite grab me, and because I read plot holes after reading Alice.
Oh, okay. I did it the other way around.
So I thought plot holes was amazing, so it blew my mind. So I'm going to give Alex a 7.5. It would have been an 8 if I hadn't have read plot holes. So in a way, I've kind of compared the two. I probably shouldn't have.
I'd be interested to see what people in the chat have thought of this if they're reading it and stuff like that. It might not be their cup of tea, but I assume it might be. It'd be interesting to find out.
Yeah, man. Let us know what you think of Alice Ever After, guys. Never After. Sorry.
Alice Never After. There we go.
Never After.
So that is the comics. So there we go. Final order cut off top 3. Bish bash. It's so funny, right? So the only show that James was able to join was when we was saying bye to Andy.
Yeah, basically. Oh, goodbye, my love.
But yeah, so
goodbye,
obviously, final order cut off, FOC as it's known to the majority of us, is the date retailers must submit their orders before publishers set their print runs. I say it time and time again every week, and this week I missed out. I am the victim of my own downfall. I tell people every week, if you want to get a comic, make sure you put it in before Sunday at 9 o'clock. I totally missed one of the covers that I want. Missed out on it, but you know, that's the way the cookie crumbles. Orders must be placed with James on the Slab Crusaders website by 9 o'clock on Sunday, or they may be cancelled, or you may not be able to get it. So obviously, up first, I've gone for it. Now, this is a connecting cover. This is cover A. You can get cover B as well, which is fantastic. This is Birds of Prey, issue number 2, DC Comics. This is the written by Kelly Thompson. Art is by Leandro Romero, and the colours are by the fantastic Jordi Belair. And the cover is obviously by the one and only DNA himself, David Nakayama. Now, this for me, I am definitely picking this up. I've said it time and time again. I sound like a broken record. Any covers that DC put out are majority of the time are on cardstock. For a comic book collector, cardstock is so much better. When will Marvel, if anyone from Marvel watches this show on the Rewind or anything, sort of shit out and put your comics on decent paper.
You heard
Put it on
here,
decent
guys.
paper. Put it on decent paper, because you will get the finishes like this. They pop. They look good in Mylar covers. Pick it up. Scan this. Pick it up. It will go straight to Slab Crusaders. You can see the 2 connecting covers. And you will also get a discount if you put in, I think what is #Killer Comic Show. I think if you put in Killer Comic Show, you get 5% off any order until Sunday at 9 o'clock. So yeah,
we should really get it and have it on the slide.
We should do. We'll
I
get
mean,
that for
Andy
next
had one job before he left.
week.
God, Jesus.
I know, but yeah, if you want to drop me a DM, I will drop you the message, and I'll also put it on Instagram. That you can go on Slab Crusaders and get I think you get a discount off of any order by 9 o'clock on Sunday. So that's my one. This was my pick.
Can I ask you about the connecting cover? Is it
Yes.
Supergirl?
Let me have a look. Why have you put me on the spot right about now? Cheers for that, mate.
Sorry, mate. It's just because I can see the cape. I was just interested because I'm not reading Birds of Prey. So I don't know what characters are in it. But I always like a good team.
There we go. Right. So I am currently on the Slab Crusaders website, and it is. It doesn't say who it is. It's Batgirl, Black Canary, and I don't know. Hold on 1 second. Right, what we're going to do now? Hold on 1 second. Anyone in the chat wants to tell me who this?
We're going off script, guys.
Who is this woman? So we've got Black Canary. We've got Batgirl.
It's
who is this?
Big Barda, something like that. She's from where it's not. Is it called Apocalypse? The world where what's his name's from? Doomsday, not Doomsday. The other Superman villain.
Oh, okay. But I mean, you can see how like they look great. Look at that.
They do.
Look, that looks great. That looks awesome. But as I mentioned, you can literally go on here for anyone that's new. You can kind of go up to Slab Crusaders. You can select Marvel FOC, DC FOC, Key and Spec Comics. This fantastic cover by Daniel Warren Johnson. And then you can got your cover buys, your new number one, still available to order, advanced orders. You've got so much on there. Just head over there and give it a little browse. Why not? Anyway, back to the show. We've got that's
back
one.
To the show. So I've gone for
Daniel Warren Johnson.
Obviously, the biggest Transformer fan in the world had to go for Transformers issue 1 by the amazing Daniel Warren Johnson. The cover is Daniel Warren Johnson as well for this one.
You have this, don't you?
Cover A. Not yet. I've got the ash cans, but I haven't read them. I daren't open them. But yes, I've seen some clips of this one, so I'm really excited about this one, guys. I don't think you should sleep on it. Because I think Image are going to do good things with Transformers. Like I think they're going to go and do amazing stuff with it, especially with Daniel Warren Johnson at the helm. So it's going to be crossing over into G.I. Joe and obviously into Void Rivals. So I think if you want to get a key Transformer issue in the 20th century, this is the one to get because it's going to be big. And there are rumors that in the first book, the way it ends is how the whole series is going to go, and it's a bit of a shocker. So I'm guessing it's going to be the shocker as in the character, but
just a
shockwave.
Just a little segue talking about Daniel Warren Johnson. For all the wrestling fans in the chat, I know Fuzzy is massively on wrestling because we're in the chat, and obviously you are as well, Tom. Daniel Warren Johnson was inspired for Do a Powerbomb by watching AEW. He was at All Out on Sunday, and he was inspired by it. For me, totally going off track here, but Fuzzy and yourself will understand what I'm talking about. AEW is a wrestling company that was put together by the Elite in 2019 to rival WWE. And for me, it is so like watching WCW Nitro. It's quality. The storytelling is amazing. They've got one fantastic wrestler there who's going to be the face of the company for years to come. MJF, Michael. Yeah, he is like. Yeah, that's it. It's going to be Maxwell Jacob Friedman. He's going to overtake. But anyway, that's it. I'm talking about enough about wrestling. That's a whole different show that I'm looking to put together. We can go into that. But Transformers issue number 1, cover A from Image, Skybound, and yeah, scan that and take it over. And then what else have we got? We have Tom. You picked this absolute beauty.
So yeah, because obviously Andy's not here. I wasn't sure whether we were going to do 2 each, or whether we were going to kind of mix and match each week. One of us picked one and one of us picks another one. So I went ahead and picked an extra one. So I went for the Captain Marvel, John Tyler Christopher negative space variant for issue 1 of the new upcoming Captain Marvel comic. And I just think it's a stunner. I do love these negative variants that he does.
My favourite one was Luke Skywalker.
Yeah, I think my favourite is the Wolverine.
Yeah, when he had his Alicia Wong, Jan Bazalgea, and cover art by JT. But as I mentioned, these are only our 3 FOC picks. Please head over please head over to Slab Crusaders and have a browse, because you could technically lose yourself for a few hours in it just having a look at. You think you've seen one and then you go on it, and also you will get a discount by putting in the Killer Comic Show, and I think it's a good discount. So and that includes CGCs, the slab, and anything up until 9 o'clock on a Sunday. So you might as well take advantage of it. And as Andy said last week, you won't find anywhere cheaper where you will get your comics bagged and boarded at that price. All
you
comics come bagged and
cheaper,
boarded. You won't
bagged and boarded anyway, and then getting the discount on top is huge. Yeah,
you won't. So head over there and give it a little browse. And then on top of that, we've got our indie picks for next week. Now, Andy would normally do this. So, Tom, I'm hoping that you're kind of on. I'm going to keep talking while you go on League of Gentlemen.
I've got it ready.
League of Gentlemen.
League of Gentlemen. It's a local shop for local people.
Yes, so
it's a local shop for local people.
You live that way, so don't mock it.
That is true.
The alternates,
and they are like that.
The alternates issue number 1, written by Various, and we've got the art by Various. The distributor SKU is on your screen now, and it's in shop September 13th, 2023. Tom, this is from Dark Horse Comics. What's the synopsis?
It is. Just so you guys know, you might know some of the writers on this. So you've got Tim Seeley, you've got Jordan Blunn, you've got Christopher Mitten, but some of you guys might recognize this name. He's an actor as well. Is Patton Oswalt. I'm sure some of you might recognize him. I recognize his face. I'm trying to remember what he's been in, but I've seen him in a few things. Anyway, this one sounds interesting, guys. Me and Chai discussed a few, and we both agreed this one would be quite a good one to go for. So the synopsis is Mary the Multi-Monster.
I was going to say Mary had a little lamb.
Mary had a little lamb. Mary the Multi-Monster, the Tripper, Crab Louie, Kid Curious, Persona, formerly the offbeat B-list superheroes, the Alternatives, who seemingly sacrificed themselves to stop an invasion from another dimension. Instead, they were transported to a mirror reality where they lived out complex lives in a more four-dimensional existence, expanding both their powers and their consciousness. 5 years later, they returned to the Twilight City, struggling to reclimatize to their old lives and the traditional two-dimensional superhero world. In withdrawal from the vivid ones they left behind, when elements from the alternative reality turn up as a dangerous new street drug, some of the heroes band together to destroy it, while otherwise succumb to temptation.
Oh, that sounds good, doesn't it? That sounds good.
Oh, bollocks.
You all right, mate?
Yeah, my Siri just started talking to me in my ear.
Oh, no. That sounds good. That does sound good. That does sound good.
I love the idea they've gone away and they've got this like drug and they've come back sort of thing.
I loved issue number 1 of this.
Yes. The call was really good.
So obviously this is the Cole issue number 2, written by Kelly Thompson, art by Matteo De Ilius, and in shop September 13th. Thomas, what's the synopsis?
So Cleo confesses to her friends that she's frightened, and she's got more fear than anger in the group, and everyone sticks together in the great unknown as they go through the sentient mushroom.
Nice. Is that it?
That's it.
Wow.
It's literally that. It's just a little paragraph.
It is good though. It is good, and the artwork on this is decent as well. It is decent.
Yes, and I think I like the way that the first issue started, where it literally shows you the end of the world apocalypse, and then it shows you how they got to that point. Bit like Cloverfield. I hate Cloverfield, by the way. I think it's one of the worst movies ever seen. And I swear to God, if anyone ever asks me to watch Cloverfield again, I will punch them in the face. But it gave me Cloverfield vibes the way it starts, like the end of the world, and then it goes back to the start, and you find out how it happened. So I'm interested to see where this goes, especially because I think it's her little brother is missing, and that's where they think he is. So that's pretty cool.
But no, I love this. I thought it was great. So I'm looking forward to reading this. And then up next, there we go. Fish flies.
It's not the Devil's Cut. Is that me? Sorry.
You had one job,
guys.
mate. One fucking job.
God, you'd think there'd be someone proofreading this.
Anyway, what's the synopsis? This is going to be a new line, isn't it, Tom? What's the synopsis?
What's the synopsis? Hashtag give us the synopsis. So Franny Fox continues to assist the strange fugitive after his wild metamorphosis. While elsewhere in Billy River, the residents of the town continue to search for the perpetrator that shot young Paul Dupuls. An extra length issue from Jeff Lemire comes a new tale of a small town surrealist horror. Sorry.
I enjoyed this. I enjoyed the first one. As usual, Andy had some mind-blowing theories that I was unable to sleep for because my mind was doing overtime. But I'm looking forward to reading this. I read the new the free comic book day one and was like, I'm getting to this. Read this and was like, didn't understand it. Then read it again, still didn't understand it because that's my small little brain. Then we had the show. Then Andy said some stuff. Then you said some stuff. And then I read it again and was like, yeah, I get this. I didn't get it.
Do you know what, mate? I had to read it twice and I still don't get it. But I did enjoy it the first time. The second time I read it, after what Andy had said, I was a little bit like, is this just another Jeff Lemire that's going to fall flat? Because unfortunately, he's had quite a few of those in the last time. I'm going to
ask him at Thought Bubble if it's something that he purposely does. Because it seems repetitive. He did the same in May's book where this man here, Pounders in the Half Pint, literally threw a curveball, dropped this bombshell, and then left the chat.
That's it. Me and him are no longer friends. We can't socialise.
Look, Cloverfield is awful. The follow-on movies are great as well. I've got to be honest, I didn't really like number 2 with John Goodman, where he kept that woman locked up. I didn't.
Yeah, but the first one, where it's all filmed on a camera.
That was wicked. Come on, that was awesome.
The premise was the great idea. And then the second one wasn't filmed on a camera. So what's the point in doing the second one?
Yeah.
The second is like a normal movie.
Yeah.
So you lost the reason people went to watch it, or I thought was special, in the second movie. So it made it pointless. But the first movie was just shite. It was like watching the Blair Witch, but like...
The Blair Witch is awesome. Don't ever knock the Blair Witch.
The Blair Witch is all right, to be fair.
It's amazing. There we go. Look, rumour has it a 4th Clover film is in the works. I haven't seen the 3rd one. There's 3 of them?
The 4th Clover film is in the bin, he meant to say.
I haven't seen the 3rd one, so I'm looking forward to seeing it. But yeah, Fishfight. I would love to say to Jeff Lemire, is it something that he subconsciously sets up in his stories? Like May's book did the same. The Little Monsters did the same. We thought it was going to end after issue number 6, and I think it ended on issue number 13. And then we've got Fish Flies number 2 as well. So, and also he did Family Tree as well, which was good, which was very, very good. I like that.
Do you think he's got a one really killer story in his back pocket, and he's just making all these kind of trying to test in the waters with like a little bit of each one? To see whether people like it, and then he's just going to drop this bombshell that's going to be like awesome.
Okay, yeah. Sorry, there's like a massive Cloverfield
chat. Yeah, I can see.
There's 12 Cloverfield Lane, and then there's the Cloverfield Paradox. Darren is saying I enjoyed the Cloverfield films. Phil saying oh yes, and then Triple G was not sold with Fish Ride.
Tom's on.
Oh, he's gone. Tom's gone. So we can actually carry on with the show now. The show. The end of the show. Here we go. I sound like an Ant and Dec.
Oh my God, are we the new Ant and Dec of the comic book unit community?
More like Dick and Dom.
Bogies.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to reading this. I do enjoy it. I do enjoy Left Jameer. There we go. That's his brother and another. Jeff Lemire, Left Jameer. There we go. I do love Left Jameer's work. I think it's great. I think it's better than Jeff Lemire's work.
Yeah.
But it is interesting. I'm looking forward to reading it, and I think I would just love to know that because it does just seem like it happens continuously. It's like he gets bored and think, oh, I can't bother. Oh, have I got to continue? All right, let it die down and then I'll pick it up again. But hey ho. So they're the free comics. And it would be good because obviously we say this time and time again. This show wouldn't be what it is without the people in the chat. So if there's any covers that you would like, or there's any comics that come out the week before that you would like us to include in the vote to get you more involved, let us know. we're obviously more than happy to do that. So let us know if you need help on any FOC or Slab Crusaders or anything like that. Just drop us a message, drop us a message on DM on Instagram, and we'll get back to you. Not a problem. And there we go. Look, we're getting the piss ripped out of us now. Populous said more Paul and Barry Chuckle. To be fair, okay. So which one's the dead one? Because instead of to me to you, it's literally to me.
So on that basis, you're saying to me sounds like Tommy, so I guess I'm the dead one.
Tommy. Yes, there we go. So last week we lost Andy. This week we've lost Tom. It's been great, but it looks like it's just going to be me from now on. So I do apologise for everyone in the chat, but you see this is what your Thursday nights look like now. So sit back, enjoy, and have a beer with me. Just crack on and we'll talk comics. And come back now, Tom. There we go.
How are you?
He's back. He's back in the room. There we go. So yes. So that's the FOCs. That's the indie picks out of the way. Now we move on. We're 56 minutes in because you know what? We haven't got 45 minutes of the show to fill up with Andy's pickups. So there we go. The killer cover scoreboard. So what are we on, Thomas? Let's have a look because I'm interested.
George Dawes, give us the scores.
I reckon it's going to be. I reckon it's a draw. It's got to be a draw.
So in second place, technically last place, is Charlie with the Poison Ivy with 48%.
No way.
So it's very close. I got it, nipped it the post with the Shazam with 51%.
That was close. That was close. There we go.
That was very close.
That was close.
So I could be the first time I get a chance to win it. After last year's shocking behaviour, I've only ever I think it took, half a year for me to get one cover?
Look, Charlie, the face of Thursday. This is it. I'm not sure if you should be scared or running for the hills. There we go. Back from the dead. There we go. 52 snipe. There we go. Look at that. This is enjoyable. I love this. I love this killer covers thing. I think it's great. Because you can really see our different tastes. I mean, you can't see mine because there's only 2 fucking comics on there, but you can really see our different tastes and stuff like that. I think it's great. I really do enjoy it.
Yeah, man, it's quality. And these are always quite scary looking.
Yeah, that's a sign of his inner native comic reader trying to escape. Yeah. There we go. But so that's it. Well done, Thomas. Well done, Thomas. So obviously. I've only gone and fucking left him on here, ain't I?
It's fine. We can promote him this last time.
Of course we can. So obviously you can follow me on Instagram.com/GeekyGuyComics, and then you've got Twitter.com/GeekyGuyComics. You've got Andy, the one and only Oracle, Mr. Perpetual himself, Instagram.com/perpetual.comics, and then on Twitter, perpetualcomics.com, and then you have the man with the plan, the big rig himself, the man with the guns. Talk to me, Thomas. What you got?
So if you want to find me, you can find me on Instagram under Not Quite Mint. Or if you're interested in any fitness advice or would like some help with setting goals or any of that kind of good old healthy stuff, you can find me on Tom Maiden PT.
And then we also have our Killer Comics Instagram account, which is instagram.com/The Killer Comics Show. And then over on Twitter, we need to change that logo because it's not a blue bird no more.
No, it's called X now. It's not even Twitter, is it?
Get up your X's.
But do you know what? If you'd have said to me, if you find me on X, about like 10 years ago, I'd have been like, what? I'm not going on that. It's a dodgy website.
I'm not typing in twitter.com/X/see this Vina Killer Comic Show. There we go. But yeah, just a shout out to the man up Perpetual. If you go over, he's investing a bit of time in his Instagram now, and he's just put up a post of his Ahsoka Lego sculpture. So head over there. I'm sure he will be very.
Remember the dot, guys. It's perpetual.comics.
Comics. There we go.
Yeah, don't forget the dot.
And there we go. ABC. Does Andy not get to submit a cover each week until the end of the year, or at least once? Charlie has his level.
Yeah, I don't get
it. Do we get to let him submit? I don't think we should.
Well, we asked him. We're like, do you want to be involved in anything else?
He's done with us now, lads. He's done.
Exactly.
He's done. He's
gone.
He's moved on. He's moved on. No. We did ask him. He was like, I don't want to. I'm not downgrading my standards just to keep in the game. So he's quit while he's ahead. effectively. But
do you know what? I actually think what's happened here is that Andy has gone through League of Comics as far as he can go and realised that there are no covers he can win with. So he's gone, I'm out. I'm done. I'll come back next year where there's some decent covers.
Yeah, I think that's what he's done. But yeah, you can follow us all over there. We're always very helpful. We always got, I'm going to say, I reckon we've got one of the best Instagram pages that we're there. We spend a lot of time and investment in that, and we do try to give the best to you. A massive shout out to everyone in the chat that invests time in engaging with us and sharing what we do and stuff like that. So we do very much appreciate that.
He's here.
Here he is. Look.
Here he is.
Just jumping in to smash that like button. We'll catch the rewind. Love you guys.
I love you too.
Love you too, sir. Thank you very much for joining. So,
if you want to find out how much we did love Andy, go back and watch last week's show. It's
so Connie, that's a shout out to you, our most consistent viewer, where she's travelling from the hills of Glasgow to, I don't know, to the wherever she's travelling on a metro bus or whatever. You weren't there. I suggest you go over and you look at the rewind and you watch the show to find out how much we absolutely love Andy. Just go for it. There we go. Here we go. Look. Poptimus completed it, mate. Oh, he competed it. He competed it, mate. There we go. So this is my favourite line of the week, the Killer Comic Show sneak peek for next week. There we go. Right, so
I like that.
There we go. So we've got it eats what feeds it. That sounds like me. What my wife would say to me, you just eat what I feed you. That's it. I'm looking forward to this one because this is from Scout Comics, and I think the way that they're doing it now with their legacy comics, they're rehashing their best-selling comics as the number one. So it eats what it feeds. I've read the premise of this. It looks amazing. Tom, I'm not quite sure if it's up your street, but
I'll give it a go.
We'll give it a go. And you picked?
I've gone for Batman issue 137. This is part of the gang wars that is currently going on. This is issue part 2 of Catwoman's gang wars, and it's written by Chip Zdarsky. And I've heard good things, so I'm thinking about jumping back on Batman.
And then you also picked this as well, didn't you?
I did. So this was one that Andy brought to the table last week. So it's Hunt of the Skinwalkers. And at first I was like, I don't really fancy reading this. However, because the cover looks a bit like an owl / the Punisher logo, it's been on my mind, and I kind of fancy reading it. Maybe I'm being converted. I don't know. Maybe,
but yeah, these are the 3 covers. These will go up at 10:30 tonight on the community chat on Instagram, on YouTube. So place your votes, and we will. Do you know what? If they're all relatively getting good votes, we might just pick all 3 of them. And we'll do that, or we might review 2. What we're going to do, we're going to kind of alternate it. We're going to go to character profiles, the creator spotlights, and we'll just kind of roll with it. We want to keep you on your toes. We don't want to keep doing this is it every single week. This is it every single week. We've got the core stuff like the comic reviews, the indies, and the FOCs, but we might mix it up now and again. So just to keep you on your toes, just so it doesn't get stale. So
it might be the return of the not quite mint keys.
There we go. You never know. So have you got while we're talking about Batman, a few weeks ago I went and got a tattoo. So I won the competition on Facebook, right? Won a competition on Facebook. There's an artist over, he's from Korea, and he's come over and he's working in a tattoo studio in Fenchurch in central London. And he posted a status on Facebook saying, look, I'm looking to start my own tattoo studio. What I do is predominantly very fine graphical work of animals and flowers and stuff like that. I want to try something new. I want to look into doing this. And there was the suggestions were, it was Kill Bill, it was Tupac, it was Venom, and it was Batman, and I think and the Joker. There was quite
sounded like a Cluedo thing. They killed Bill with Tupac with some Venom.
So I entered the competition. And he one of the questions was like, why do you want to get this comic done? Why do you want to get this tattoo done? And I kind of said, I didn't even post a comment. I just said, head over to my Instagram page, and then I put the Killer Comic Show and everything, and I won it. And I was fortunate enough, I picked the Batman one. I went and got it done, totally free, and here it is. No, there we go. So I can't really show it.
Can you Batman flex?
I can't Batman flex. No, I can't. But there we go. But that is my Batman tattoo I got free of charge. Absolutely nothing.
Pretty cool, that, to be fair.
Pretty decent. So I got that. So that was it. So when I placed on Facebook, I think a few of you commented and said, oh, what are you getting done? And I said, yeah, the Killer Comics logo. that's coming in a couple of years. I'll get that when I win another competition. But yeah, I got that one done. So that's one of my good pickups. Have you got any pickups, Tom?
I've got one and only this week, and it is the Plot Holes 1 in 10 variant that we spoke about earlier.
So you did get it?
I did. Yeah.
Oh, wicked, man. Nice.
But it's just I took it out of its sleeve so I could, because I was going to show the same as Charlie, like the character profiles at the back. But if you guys haven't read it, like we said earlier in the reviews, it's 100% 9 out of 10. So I would definitely recommend go and read it.
Cool. So you got that. I've shown it already. I got this gaming cover. This is very much like the Sega Genesis gaming cover. And I think it was Fuzzy that said he got the same cover age as well, the gaming cover. But I mean, even at the back, it kind of. Do you know what I like about this? It tells you who's done it. It says it's like cover age video C cover, and it tells you it's why. Because on League of Comic Books Geek, it just says cover G, homage and stuff like that. Then I got this beauty. Obviously, this is the one and only by Jock.
Yeah, I need to read this.
It's various artists. There's look, we can read it. The Devil's Cut is your introduction to Distillery, featuring 11 unfiltered stories from the most fearless creators, including Mirka Andolfo, Brian Azzarello, Mark Bernardin, Elsa Caritia, Becky Clunan, Francesco Francavilla, Lee Garbutt, Jock, Joel Jones, Ariella Cristantina, Tula Latte, Jamie McKelvey, John Mizuno, Stephanie Phillips, Ram V, Eduardo Rizzo, Scott Snyder, James Tinian, and Christian Ward. In the aging process, the whiskey that evaporates is called the Angel Share, but the most potent spirits are captured in the wood, the Devil's Cut. You may want to sip these spirits slowly. They pack a punch. And I tell you what, it's a fantastic book. Amazing. It's costly. It's £10. It's £10 a book.
It's a hefty looking book, isn't it?
It's a hefty look. It's 88 pages. It's a hefty looking book, but it is great. It is. I'm very much looking forward to that. And also, on top of that, what we got in the people are saying, very cool, Charlie. Thank you very much for the tattoo. I got the Flash in the same spot. That's really striking against the ghost white background. I assume is he taking the piss out of my arm? I think he's taking the piss out of your colour, mate. I think he's taking the piss out of my arm. Leon, you know what I said about dropping down a message about your competition win? I'm gonna change that address to mine, if that's all right, mate. Thanks very much.
Yeah, do it.
Pillars in a Plant. I don't like oversized comics just because of trying to store them, and also probably because they're bigger than you, Sean, which you probably don't like. Only joking, mate. Only joking. Which is a shame, as I'd love to read Devil's Cut, and then looking forward to reading DSTRLY books. I very much am as well. But also, that was the two pickups I got. I'm on a wrestling binge at the moment, and I'm picking up these figures. I can't get enough of these. I've got Fuzzy Dunlop in our wrestling chat, like literally feeding my addiction, sending me, oh look, this is just coming out and this is coming out, and all I'm doing is just forwarding them on to my wife, saying, oh, you know, Christmas is coming up, you might as well get me some of these because they look absolutely amazing. But yeah, that's the AEW Tag Team Champions, Dax Harwood. So cool. And you've got the old Cash Wheeler there as well, who's Bang Bang Club, guns for the Cash Wheeler. Give him up. But yeah, that's it. That's all I've got, mate. That's all I've got. I've had an absolutely booming, banging show. Thank you very much to everyone that's joined. Back Dan Dixon. I enjoyed the Devil's Cut. Looking forward to hearing what you think. Do you know what I think, Tom? When you receive it, let me know, and we might do a midweek show before we do the Thursday show, just to give that a one-off review and stuff like that. Because I know Chip Mosher is very much looking forward to our review show. So who knows?
Let's do it.
Who knows? Let's do it. But guys in the chat, thank you very much for joining. Always a pleasure. Really enjoy spending Thursday nights with you. It's been amazing. We will be back on the socials tomorrow. The community tab will be live on YouTube at 10:30, and we shall see you next week. But it wouldn't be a proper sign-off if the man with the plan, the big wig, didn't say,
stay safe, stay geek.
Whoa,
see you guys.
He flipped the switch there. See you later, guys. Have a good one. Enjoy your weekend. Boom.
See you.